Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar. Booyah! It's time for the Game Sports Show. It's Wednesday, April the 4th. It's David McCaig here live at Sportscenter in Sault Ste. Marie, and I'm going to introduce my co-host / analyst in just a few moments. Just going to get through the introduction portion as always here. And we're here Wednesday at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, where it's, well, their famous wing night, their 75-cent wing nights. We come in from 4 until midnight and enjoy some great Molson products and those delicious wings and the best fries in town as well. Oh my God, the food here at Sportscenter is fantastic. Along with that pizza, you get the wing deal, you can get a wings deal, you get some pizza deals. There's always deals going on here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Rated the Sioux's best sports bar for the second straight year in 2017. Now, as I said, it's yours truly, David McCaig. Tonight on the panel, I'm going to have Jamie Antonello and also Dane Hanchrow. We know Thursday was going to be his last Boston Pizza show last week. This is his last SportsCenter show until September. I'm going to get the fellas in just a few moments. It's going to go through, as I said, the introduction portion and the agenda of the show here for tonight's show of the game. And, as I said, the agenda is going to be quite action-packed, as it always is. We're going to be talking variety like we do here on Wednesdays. We're going to be talking football, off-season edition. Jamie Antonello is definitely going to be spearheading a lot of football news. I got a little funny news article that Jamie and I are going to talk about that he's absolutely going to shoot down, so you definitely don't want to miss that. We're going to be talking basketball with the Raptors. Oh, they lost to Cleveland last night. I guess the red flags are starting to be waved in Toronto. No, are you kidding me? And we're also going to be talking the Masters. The Masters starts. I'm very excited for the Masters tournament. And we're going to also talk NCAA basketball, Villanova getting the national championship. Just a brief little discussion there. And followed by our well-known roundtable discussion here as myself, Jamie, and Dane will be bringing topics forward and having random discussions about the world of sports. It might get a little bit heated. These beers or these waters will be getting thrown across the table, and maybe even my laptop might flip or tables might flip, as we like to have these random topics and have little debates that go on here on that roundtable segment. So that's going to be the agenda show. Now to the sponsors portion. And the sponsors on the Game Sports Show. We have many sponsors, and we've even had a new additional sponsor this week with Esley Hockey Apparel, who reached out to Twitter, through Twitter, that's going to be sending us apparel. And we're also going to be sending them our apparel when that gets announced and it gets released, and we'll get to that in just a few moments. But the sponsors on the show, without further ado, we got Sportscenter Bar and Grill, one of the homes to the Game Sports Show that we do here Wednesdays. Then we got Boston Pizza here in Sault Ste. Marie, that where we do shows on Thursdays, another home to the Game Sports Show. There's also North Shore Sports and Auto. There's a salon, the Sue Peary Pro Shop, Discover the Canvas, Big Brother, Big Sister, Sault Ste. Marie, and Northern Critters in Need here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. In Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, another home to the Game Sports Show on Mondays, the Wicked Sister, and followed by Pingator Cleaners, being an additional sponsor to the Game Sports Show as well. And like I said, with those sponsors, we do a show Mondays, The Wicked Sister, from 6 to 7, and then that is live on radio, then 7 to 8 pre-recorded on the GameSportsShow.podbean.com. And also here Wednesdays at 9:30 to 11, we have the show on the GameSportsShow.podbean.com and YouTube, and Thursday on the GameSportsShow.podbean.com and on YouTube as well. Wednesdays here at SportsCenter, where we discuss variety of sports in our roundtable segment, mostly towards football and basketball, and talk a little bit of golf. We talk wrestling the odd time. We have fun with a variety of topics. Then Thursdays is where we discuss hockey and baseball, local and national, involving that. Now, for the website is launched. The only part that's in construction is the title page of the website, as those pictures that we took are complete and they're going to be released. But we have a new logo being designed by Discover the Canvas, as Katrina Tippett is designing us a logo that we hope to get attached to those pictures. But if it's not in time, we're just going to be releasing the pictures as is, and I'll update the front page of the website. But the website is launched. It's www.thegamesportshow.com, and you could access all previous shows from there through get to the Podbean page or to get to the YouTube page, and also read about the Game Sports Show here in Sault Ste. Marie, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. And fellas, without further ado, I'm going to bring you on in. I'm going to bring you in. I'm going to tie you up in here. We got our new sound system way here. We got phone going on. We got laptop going on. We got microphone going on. We got a whole variety of things going on. And Jamie, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm living the dream, bud. I think we're living the dream. And to my right, Dane Hanchrow. We're making some brief comments here tonight, making a surprise appearance on the show. How are you, buddy?
Good, buddy. 2-3 comments tonight. Surprise, I'm back for another show. I know I was supposed to be gone about 2 weeks ago, but here I am.
You know what? It's good. You just want to be here.
I am. I had withdrawals. I was halfway down Highway 17 there and had to come back.
That's definitely the case. And I just want to give a fun fact to you out there as the listeners. Our merchandise is going to be released. It's supposed to be by the end of March. It is in completion. It's just a matter of getting all the logos arranged and getting some designs all figured out there, but it is going to be released hopefully very, very soon. And the proceeds of those shirts, when you buy the shirts, it goes towards Northern Creators in Need and Big Brother Big Sister, and also towards the cost of the shirts. So it is going to charity, the shirt, and helping a company and organizations that help those that are in need, for sure. And it's definitely good. So the merchandise will be launched very soon, so make sure you keep an eye on that on the website and also throughout shows as well. Jamie, we're going to jump into here. We're going to talk football first, off-season edition. We're going to have a break. We're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk Masters. And we're going to have a break, and we're going to talk a little bit about our roundtable discussion with all the variety of topics. I'm going to hand over the mic over to you. You're going to spearhead a little bit of off-season news for us. Little bits, little pieces. Then I'm going to ask you a big question, that you and I are probably going to debate about a little bit, which I'm going to like. And I'm going to even get Dane's comments on possibly what I feel about that article. But Jamie, over to you, pal. A little bit of off-season in the pocket updates for us.
Thanks, Dave. I guess this is becoming a thing. I'm just going to go rundown style and keep as much news going as possible. But a couple things that have happened. I feel like on the show 2 weeks ago we did a pretty good trade deadline breakdown. Yeah. Hit most of those. A couple things have happened since then. Obviously, Brandon Cooks being the number one. Yeah. Trading to the Rams, who, funny enough, were the other team behind the Patriots that were going after him last year. So Sean McVay knew he wanted a guy like Brandon Cooks, and what they ended up doing last year was go after Sammy Watkins, let him go. Right now, you bring in Brandon Cooks. That offense is still good. Yeah. That defense is even better with the addition of Ndamukong Suh. And Aaron Donald is training with knives, if you haven't seen that video. Yeah. Hot take here, I'm of the opinion they are dummy knives. If you look at the video closer, they're pretty thick. Either that or they're just gigantic, like Crocodile Dundee style. That's not a knife. But insane. And he lives in LA now. He knows how to play it up, right? Aaron Donald could have done nothing the entire offseason, and he's still the best defensive player in football right now. And that's in part because J.J. Watt was injured last year, but still, he's the reigning defensive player of the year, and rightfully so. Other news, right, with Brandon Cooks leaving, this really, I think, means that Gronk is going to stay. I mean, he's kind of speculating retirement, going to the WWE. I don't think that will happen. I think 100%. And I mean, Gronk would probably kill it in the wrestling game, to be honest. But I don't know. We'll have to see. But it seems like the Pats are going to have to make sure they hang on to Gronk. But big things. And then I know what we're going to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. a little later on. But a couple other big things that have happened throughout the league. Matt Ryan is close to a contract extension, which means that Jimmy Garoppolo will no longer be the highest paid quarterback in football, because that is the trend of the league. That is exactly what happens every single time. There's just no way around it at this point. It's the most important position in the game, even if they are not the best player in the game, as the current NFL draft that's upcoming will highlight, because it is clear that Saquon Barkley is the best player in the draft, but he is probably not going to go number one overall because Cleveland is in desperate need of a quarterback. Robert Quinn was traded from the Rams to the Dolphins. He's pretty upset about it, to be honest. But the thing for him is it's a cap hit. It's the same reason why Ogletree got shipped out of town. Sean McVay has different ideas. He's an offensive guy. And so they're going to try and kind of bring in defensive guys. I mean, they spent the money on corners. They didn't want to spend it on the outside D-line. They know their interior line's unreal, right? They're going to play outside in, and they're going to run some different guys in at D-end. Johnny Manziel is on it's comeback season for Johnny. We haven't seen that. He is all over pro days. He showed up at 4 different pro days just to throw. He has publicly stated, finally, he hadn't said anything before, that he will go to the CFL, which means he will play for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who have his rights if he doesn't get an NFL offer. I think that's the likely option at this point, but you never know. Cleveland would be the team that would be dumb enough to do it, but unfortunately they already had Johnny, and they're not going to do that again. So that's part of the reason why I think that he's going to go to the CFL. Side note here, quarterbacks, Robert Griffin III, guess what? He's back.
He's working out, right? Or is he confirmed?
The Ravens have signed him.
The Ravens.
Surprisingly, have no idea why, but hey, good for you. We'll have to see.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Happy to see success.
Oh, it's wild. Crazy side note news. A fan in Tennessee. Two notes about Tennessee. One, they revealed their new jerseys, and they look pretty slick. They're going with the dark blue helmet. They changed the design up a little bit. It's a little bit more, for Canadian fans, it's a little bit more Toronto Argonauts look. But I like them. I'm a fan. And one fan has massive expectations for Marcus Mariota after getting a tattoo on his arm that says Mariota, but where the T would be, it is just a picture of a goat, a.k.a. Mariota.
Oh, wow.
That's high expectations. This guy's a super fan. But, whew, man, that's tough to put on your body. You really hope Marcus backs you up there. If he doesn't, you're not looking good.
You're going on that TV show. You're going to be end up on that TV show that you're going to have the tattoo fixed. I can't recall the title of that TV show. But as you said, Jamie, we had the football discussion a couple weeks back in terms of the free agency and the trades that went down. And the Rams, are they the winner of this offseason as far as that? Or is it the Browns still? Because I know you got to pick. If the Browns have Tyrod, there now, but obviously a little bit of trouble at quarterback. They're going to be looking at that via the draft. Is that the team that's still the winner in this offseason to this current point, or do you give it to the Rams now, or do you even give it to the Patriots? You're getting another first-round pick there. I'm not sure. At the end of the day, I'm still picking Cleveland Browns to be the guys that have won this offseason thus far, but the Rams are looking quite disgusting, and a team that might be Super Bowl favorites. Might be. Keyword, you got the Eagles there, you got the Steelers, you got Patriots who still aren't a joke. Who do you think the winner of this offseason is to this current point?
That's a tough question. And I'm going to pump the brakes on the Rams here a little bit. And part of that is it's almost seeming too good to be true here a little bit. They're stacking up. It's really hard to win right away with a lot of big free agents down, right? And it's even harder when you're in LA, right? It's tons of distractions off the field. And Sean McVay had a great year, and Todd Gurley played out of his mind. Aaron Donald played out of his mind. And those guys are superstars. They're top 3 at their position in the league, respectively. But it's hard to do that year in and year out consistently. Even the greatest guys of all time, defensively, offensively, whatever, they still don't win MVP 12 years in a row, right? It doesn't happen. And it's hard to go to the playoffs every single year and make a deep run. Ask Peyton Manning, right? One of the best regular. If he hadn't won a couple Super Bowls, he would have been right up there with Dan Marino, right? Best regular season quarterbacks of all time, never won a Super Bowl. But it's hard to say. I think it's the Rams at this point, just with the addition of Cooks. That's a big signing, especially because they got rid of Watkins. He's left. So now with Cooks, Robert Woods, and Cooper Kupp there, that's a really good receiving core. Todd Gurley, and we know what the defense can do. The Browns are looking okay, but still, it's Cleveland, so it's impossible. But I will say, I'm pretty curious now to see, and I got a hot take later on for our roundtable discussion. But like you said, the Patriots have 2 first-round picks now. We'll see what they do. Screw it. I'm just going to say it now. I would not be surprised at all if they somehow finagled both of those first-round picks and climbed the ladder to draft Minkah Fitzpatrick from Alabama. Safety, corner. Nick Saban and Belichick are boys. The hard thing, though, is a 23rd and 31st overall pick isn't going to transfer into a top 5 pick in the draft. So Minkah would have to drop in the board. But if Minkah's still there at 8, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. If he's gone any higher than that, they would never get the value. Or who knows, with the whole Josh McDaniels things, maybe Bill really is like, this is my last year. Screw it. We're going to give away the farm, Mike Ditka style, to draft Ricky Williams. But I doubt it. I still think it's the Rams, bottom line. I know I got off topic there a little bit, but it's I'm going to be very curious to see what happens after the draft.
Good assessment there for sure, Jamie. I'm going to agree with you on the Rams, but I'm still going to say the Browns, the slight edge victors so far this offseason. Now, one more point of football before we go to break, Jamie, and before we're going to get Dane to chime in on this topic briefly. The Patriots, 2 first-round picks, and there was an article that was sent to me through one of our co-hosts / analysts and friend, Justin Heichel, through SportsCenter, how the Patriots have 2 first-round picks, and the asking price for Odell Beckham is 2 first-round picks. And coincidence maybe that Odell Beckham goes over to the Patriots, or poetic justice, would that be the right term? How the Giants are the only team to beat the Patriots. The Giants make a trade with the Patriots, give them a wide receiver. Brady gets that lethal weapon along with Gronkowski. Is it a little too far-fetched that maybe the Patriots are in on Odell Beckham, Dane? I'll go over to you first.
My thoughts on it is, if you look at last season, the Patriots didn't really struggle offensively. It was on the defensive end that they clearly needed help. Nick Foles lit them up for 5 touchdown passes in the Super Bowl, caught one, whatever it was. So the way I see it, if you're gonna utilize your 2 first-round picks for a trade, I would be going for defense, really. You got to look at Tom Brady's career. Other than Randy Moss being the only real superstar wide receiver that he had, and he broke records with him, right? Yeah, Wes Welker, but Tom Brady really made Wes Welker's career. So, I don't know, it doesn't matter who's playing wide receiver. Tom finds him the ball. I don't really think that's the issue. I think the difference in the Super Bowl game, if anything, was the defense. The defense didn't show up. Nick Foles lit them up. So if I'm Bill Belichick or the GM or whatever, I'd like to trade them for defensive players. But Odell Beckham would look pretty good on the Patriots. They would put up a lot of points. So see what happens. I don't think it's going to happen, but
kind of a weird little scenario, though. Hey, Jamie, I'll get your comments on. I know you're going to shoot it down right from the air right now, maybe.
No, I agree, right? That's kind of where my brain went, was defense too, like Dane said, with Minkah Fitzpatrick, that trade up, which would be absurd. But as when you think about it, right, healthy Edelman, add OBJ, Gronk, that's the most disgusting receiving core in the league. If it were to happen,
better than the Steelers.
That's the best one, bar none. You can't compete with those 3 bodies there. But I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's a fit. I don't know if Odell could ever play in the Patriot way, right? It's just, and you brought up the point of it being poetic justice. Well, Odell showed up 3 years after they won that last Super Bowl against them, right? So we're kind of a little bit far removed. I still agree. Tom Coughlin, Patriot killer.
Yeah.
Tom Coughlin and everything he did, right? He's the killer. And look at Jacksonville this year. Tom Coughlin. Right, that's why he's built that team. Right, he's got them built up. But yeah, the Patriots' defense needs to be the focus, especially with Matt Patricia gone. Right, he was a defense coordinator there for 6 years. Specialist, right, and now he's running the Lions. But yeah, I don't think it'll happen. I'll be the first guy if it does to come on and be like, Dave, you were right. Good call, nice take. But I don't see it happening on this planet Earth.
So, quick question then. Where does he go? Quick.
Ooh, he stays where he is.
Dane, where does OBJ?
Stays where he is. For at least a year anyways. For another year.
Mike Shula, who's the new OC for the Giants, has already talked to him, and he's already pumped about having him there. And, I mean, he's going to say that stuff, right? That's just the way he's going to be. But I'm really interested to see, because Mike Shula's a great OC. Right, he ran the Panthers offense for a long time with Cam Newton. The year they went to the Super Bowl and lost to Denver, they were super creative, ran the football all over the place. He opened up. Cam had 4,000 yards that year. So I'd be really curious to see what Mike can do with Eli and OBJ for a year.
I'm going to go off the map and say something absolutely ludicrous.
Oh, don't say Steelers.
I'm not saying the Steelers. Okay. The Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think that's just a fit. That's just me researching. Using my statistical fit. Kirk Cousins there, give him that weapon. If they make a move, you can move some salary out. They could. I think there's potential there for the Vikings.
What, they're going to change Kirk's salary to be $17 million this year and then 50 next? Like, that's the only way you can do it.
Potentially. I just like OBJ and the Vikings. That's my instinct says.
Diggs and who's the other guy?
Hooked on
They
it.
got two awesome wide receivers. Like, it's overkill.
Would you trade Thielen for Odell Beckham?
I don't think it's worth the upgrade. I feel
Absolutely is. No?
Thielen's a hometown kid. Like, he's from just outside of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
He'll play in Minnesota his entire career at a discount. He was a Pro Bowl guy this year, and I think he has that capability to do it every year. Plus, he's just representing wide receivers across the league right now.
Like that.
And you got to think, like, you got a new quarterback coming in, and your number one receiver is they're both have to learn a new playbook. I think it's not overly practical. I think you want to keep the guys that you have and just have Kirk Cousins come in and be able to just kind of throw the ball with his wide receivers already kind of knowing the game plan and all that. So
Just woke up and thought of that. Just Vikings. That's what my instinct said. I don't know how that would make it work, but just Vikings. Definitely not the Browns. Definitely not the Browns. Fellas, quick break. We're going to eat some sip some coldies, eat some wings, some chuck-on wings, as Greco would say. Our good old buddy Anthony Greco. We're going to hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of basketball with a little bit of Masters. And we're not talking about Masters in terms of education. We're talking about that Masters golf tournament that's happening tomorrow is first swing. We'll be right back after these messages. The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar. The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsioux.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Sioux Pee Wee Pro Shop. The Sioux Pee Wee Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Sioux Pee Wee Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop for over 40 years meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful, new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show with yours truly, Dave McCaig, alongside Dane Hanchrow and Jamie Antonello. And Dane brought up a good point after we came to break. Maybe OBJ to the Carolina Panthers. I'm not bringing up football again. We've concluded our football, but maybe you, the listeners, could give us an answer where you think OBJ is going to go. I did state Vikings. The Panthers are a good call. Dane's predicting that, but he also predicted going and staying with the Giants. It's going to be interesting. Give us an answer what you think, especially with our previous topic. Give us your comments in terms of our offseason in the pocket edition. And we will do those throughout the offseason with Jamie Antonello and Dustin Granda. Dustin, whom is not here. He's got to take care of a child some nights. Most nights, all nights. He's got to. And Justin Heichel, who is not here tonight either. He will be on the Boston Pizza Show, though, tomorrow with myself. So, Jamie, we've talked football. We're going to jump into basketball right now. First thing I'm going to jump into quickly here, NCAA Championship. We're a couple days more removed. We have Villanova, who won the national championship, beating Michigan 79-62. And it was Villanova was a juggernaut of a team. Okay, you had Dante DiFrancesco. I think I got that correct there. Who had a total, of 31 points. He had 5 rebounds and 3 assists in 37 minutes. And let me tell you, this guy tore up the court. Enjoyed the game. It was a good basketball game. I enjoyed the basketball game. I thought Michigan would actually upset Villanova in this game, but Villanova proving why they're a juggernaut, a team to win the second time in 3 years. But I feel like they should be getting prepared because Duke next year is 3 of the best national prospects coming into their organization next year. So it'd be very tough to defeat Duke next year, in my opinion. So the Blue Devils, whom I cheer for, very excited to see MSA early bird favorites to win and will win the national championship next year. But this game in general that we're talking about right now, Villanova, 79-62 over Michigan. Dante DiFrancesco having DiVincenzo, and I'm Italian and I can't even say it. That's rough. And I'm sorry to my ancestors and to my mother and my nana about not being able to pronounce that. But at the end of the day, great game overall, was entertaining. The favorite won this game.
Oh yeah, and Villanova, they had the hardest bracket, but they were by far and away the best team in the tournament. Michigan, I will say, probably improved the best throughout the tournament, and their coach Bellheim there just coached his butt off the whole tournament, and all the way through the Big Ten tournament too before. But like you said, Duke has the 3 of the top 10 recruits. Unfortunately, they're all probably 2 out of 3 of them are going to be one and dones and then go to the league. But
one of them being Canadian is going to be the first overall pick potentially.
There's a lot of potential there. I'm pretty excited to watch some Duke basketball next year. But yeah, I was a little disheartened. Right, I'm a Michigan guy. Go Blue, but I mean, we were up against a juggernaut. It was tough. Who knows? I was happy. I was really hoping that whoever came out of the Loyola Chicago Michigan game was going to upset them. I don't think Loyola Chicago would have given them a better game because we beat them pretty handily there, despite Sister Jean and her prayers. They had to wheel her out. I mean, she is in a wheelchair. Easy. Relax as you laugh over there. But mad props to Loyola Chicago. They were the darlings of the whole tournament. They captivated the nation, right? Making a Final Four as an 11 seed is absurd, right? What a tournament we had this year. UMBC with the upset over Virginia. Poor Virginia. Oof. Actually, not poor Virginia. You're a 1 seed. You can't lose to a 16. What are you doing? Never happened before. Loyola Chicago making a run. We always see somebody make a run, but Villanova by far and away best team in the tournament, and now they went 2 for 3. They won in 2016, won in 2018. Dynasty, who knows? It's hard to be a dynasty in college sports. So much turnover, but we'll have to see, man. They got quite the program. They're getting recruits like crazy. It's going to be them and Duke for the foreseeable future, it looks like.
Definitely, and power to those Duke Blue Devils, and congratulations to Villanova, though, winning the national championship. Moving on to the league, as you would say, Jamie, the NBA, the Raptors up 73-59 as we currently talk. It's going to change every 30 seconds as we talk here, but it's closing down the game. We're in the fourth quarter currently right now. The Raptors 2 games up on those Boston Celtics to 55-22. The Raptors, as the Celtics are 53-24. The Raptors losing to Cleveland for the second time in a row last night. Defense has been off this past month, especially against Cleveland, but I'm still not worried. This is a team that is definitely a team that is still number 1 team in the East, in my opinion. I think they can still defeat Cleveland and still beat Boston. I think this is still a team you're going to see in the finals. Not because they're first and not because they're my favorite team. The way the Raptors are playing, it's just the chemistry, the way this team's been together for the last handful of years. Most of them have been playing with each other for that handful of years. The only players who haven't been there for those handful of years is Ibaka and also CJ Miles. And if you want to throw in a couple of their bench guys, but you got guys like Lowry, DeRozan, and Valanciunas. And as Barkley would say, Valanciunas, whatever the hell you would call him, Valanuesos. Okay, it's Valanciunas. Okay, or Vakaitis if you want to laugh in terms of semi-pro. But at the end of the day, the Raptors are a good team, and I believe in this team. We are the North. We've got 36 million people in Canada cheering for this team. Basketball Canada is just absolutely erupting. You got Wiggins, you got Barnett, you got guys that are coming through the ranks in terms of Canadian basketball that are looking great, and the Raptors right now in a big game. They have to win against the Celtics tonight to even pull further away. Got upcoming games against teams that you can defeat in terms of the Indiana Pacers and the Orlando Magic. The Raptors, you still believing in this team, Jamie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And their loss the other night against Cleveland, I mean, the media was kind of blowing up the fact that Lowry went to watch Villanova play Michigan the night before, and Dwayne Casey has publicly said he wasn't a fan of the fact that he went, but he understands why he went. But and Lowry was the first guy to say, he's like, it didn't affect me, I just missed some shots. That's the thing, it's an 82-game season. You just hope that he doesn't get cold for 7 games in a row in a playoff game, in a playoff series. But Raps, like you said, this is a must-win. I was really, really excited, looking forward to watching this and keeping up with this Boston game. They're up big right now, 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, really shutting Boston down defensively. So I believe, man, we the North. Let's go.
I like that. And Jamie, in terms of wrapping up the basketball portion, the Raptors have a good finish line to try to win first place in the Eastern Conference. Fellas, we're going to move on to golf. Oh my, little swings here. I got to look from the hockey people over to my right over here saying golf. Yep, we like to talk golf here on this Wednesday show. We get variety, and you know what? The Masters are starting this week. Tiger Woods looking in shape, sort of. Looks like he cut down some beers. He's not having beers anymore. Looks like he resorted to those waters. As you sip on a water right now. Easy. Or are you on board with this Tiger? Or you think this is just a little? Do you think he's going to be a guy who's going to be a run? We're going to talk about that in a second. The Masters that get underway, the first tee off being tomorrow, Thursday, I believe is the correct tee off. Getting the time on that here. The tee off tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. will be the first tee off for the Masters, and that's the first round. Then you got the second round on Friday. Then you got the third round on Saturday, and obviously you got the final round on Sunday where the green jacket will be presented. And the green jacket, very elite. That is the tournament. This is the Stanley Cup. This is the NBA Finals. This is the World Series. It's the Super Bowl for the Masters tournament in golf, for the world and sports of golf. And really, Jamie, Dane, actually going to watch this. Dane, I'm going to pull you in here. I know the golf is a little bit foreign territories potentially for yourself. Me, I started playing more this year, and I've always followed. I've always been a Bubba Watson fan, and Mike Weir. If you want to go to that extent, being Canadian, Tiger Woods. Everyone always loved Tiger Woods and followed that. Who was still one of the best golfers to ever play the game. But Dane, Masters, are you on board? You're going to be watching the Masters, and who's your prediction to win the Masters this year?
Yeah, I might tune in on Sunday. The last round of golf, I can't remember what tournament it was, but it was the best Tiger's done in 4 years. I think he finished second. So I guess, yeah, there's some excitement. I think everybody's going to be watching Tiger and see how he does in the Masters. My golf game personally is terrible. I think my 10-year-old self could beat me. I used to have a membership at Queensgate Golf Course there back in the day. I'm more of a PS4 Rory McIlroy PGA Tour, and the worst part about that game is they don't have the Masters on that game because they don't have the rights. So so I can't even win the Masters on a video game. So, but yeah, golf's not my favorite thing to watch. I think Sunday's a little bit exciting. If Tiger's in it, I might tune in. Other than that, I could care less.
Dane, I'll take over on that point. I am probably gonna follow it, especially being a sports broadcaster, being involved in that. It's perks to having the job of being a sports analyst or host of a show. I get to watch all the sports possible that I can, and golf is one I'm definitely gonna enjoy in the sport that I got more into this year. And you know what? Watching and looking a lot of those sports analysis and then looking at websites and predictions as. The listeners know myself. I love my statistics. I love my research in terms of sports. And you know what? They have people that are predicting the top 5. They got Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, Jason Day, Dustin Johnson. The luckiest man on earth, Dustin Johnson. I won't state why. Wayne Gretzky, his daughter. Paul Casey ran on the top 5. But you know what? They're missing somebody in there. His name's Tiger Woods. That's one guy I like. But Bubba Watson. I'm going to be biased here. I'm going with someone that I like. Somebody that is my favorite golfer. I do not know why. I think it's his unorthodox swing, much like myself, because my swing is atrocious. It's awful. My 4-year-old niece, might be better than me at golf. She can't drive the ball further, let me tell you that. But let me tell you, she could probably putt better than I could have. Well, the short game's unreal. That's one thing that's very awful of mine. And Bubba Watson has a wicked drive. But you know what? There's a lot of guys that can drive that ball quite far. And I know that's a good top 5. My expert opinion is that's probably a good top 5 to pick. But I'm going to go off the map, and I'm saying Bubba Watson's getting another green jacket this year. And that is my final answer with that. Jamie, I'm going to go over you to conclude the topic of the Masters.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree golf isn't the most exciting sport to watch. Yeah. But since Tiger's really resurged a little bit this year and started playing, the PGA is on board with Tiger, and they're not stupid. They're marketing like crazy. They've seen attendance spike. There's going to be so many people at the Masters. Augusta has already told people, if you yell out "dilly dilly" during any part of play or any part of the day, you're out. So they're serious about it, which is hilarious. Because as you get more Tiger fans, more people get out. You can
couple drinks.
Yeah, people are rocking their Sunday red, make Sundays great again. People love it, right? So, but I'll say my pick is Dustin Johnson. Part of the reason is just at Augusta, right? If you can drive the ball and you can hit the fairway, a lot of it is downhill. Dustin Johnson already drives the ball 400 yards. He's going to be rolling on the greens all over the place. 100% you can. Yeah. I mean, like on PGA 2018 on PS4 for sure. Absolutely. He hit that sweet spot. But I'm going with Dustin Johnson, and I just think he's going to outdrive the competition all weekend. Ricky Fowler's the easy pick, but I'm going Dustin Johnson.
Good stuff, fellas. A little bit of golf talk on the Game Sports Show here Wednesday. It's Dave McCaig alongside Dane Hanchrow and Jamie Antonello live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill for their famous 75-cent wing nights. Fellas, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have a roundtable discussion. And within that, I'm going to give you a little spoiler. We're going to be talking WWE Wrestlemania 34.
Oh, so excited.
Oh, Ronda Rousey is joining the WWE, and there'll be her debut there. And you know what? I gotta talk WrestleMania here on the Game Sports Show, and Scott Nason will love that topic. That'll be discussed by myself, yourself, Jamie, and yourself, Dane. But we're gonna sip on these products of Molson and enjoy some of these foods that we still have on the table. When we come back, that's what we're talking about: round table and wrestling. Don't touch that dial. The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Thank you for tuning in to the Game Sports Show, broadcasting Wednesday nights from SportsCenter Bar and Grill in Sault, Ontario, and online at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. I hope you are enjoying the broadcast. If you want to hear more of the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national talk show in the world of sports, visit our website at thegamesportshow.com. There you can hear a pair of other broadcasts of the game. If you like hockey, Thursday nights are for you, as the Game Sports Show is at Boston Pizza with Dave McCaig, along with his regular contributors Justin Heichel and Dane Hanchrow. This show focuses on hockey in the wintertime and baseball in the summer, and includes guests and interviews from local and national figures. The game can also be heard Monday nights on WUPN Eagle 95.1 locally, or online at RadioEagleSiouxCom from 6 to 7 p.m. on Monday nights. The full 2-hour show from the Wicked Sister in downtown Sault, Michigan can be heard live on our YouTube channel. Just go to the channel Scott Nason. You can also hear the podcast of the show at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Yours truly, along with Dave McCaig and our weekly contributors Butch Davis from the Telegram News and Butch on Sports, and EJ Russell on the Team Wireless hot seat, as we focus on local, regional, and national sports, including high school basketball and hockey, junior hockey, Lake Superior State University athletics, the Detroit sports scene, and more. And you can hear all 3 versions of the game at our website. That's once again thegamesportshow.com, or go to the podcast page, thegamesportshow.podbean.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Just look for our channel, Scott Nason, and keep it locked here to the game for all your local, regional, and national sports talk that you just can't get enough of.
The Wicked Sister, Sioux, Michigan. Check TripAdvisor. Ranked right towards the top. Awarded the Certificate of Excellence, as well as voted #1 pub in the UP. The Wicked Sister has managed to create a casual menu that offers unique, creative, and sometimes healthy offerings that rivals menu selections of any big city. Burgers and starters, snacks and shareables, soups and salads, sandwiches and tapas. On Ashman Street, Sioux, Michigan. Welcome to the Wicked Sister, where you'll be treated like family, whether you like it or not.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McCaig, alongside Jamie Antonello and Dane Hanchrow, live here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar, rated for the second straight year here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Fellas, we've had quite the night so far, quite the random discussions that we always have here on the Game Sports Show, the Wednesday edition, where we talked football, we talked basketball, we talked golf. Now, we're going to dive into our roundtable discussion, and we did say what one of the topics is going to be, and it is going to be the WWE Wrestlemania. And fellas, we're going to get to that right now, off the hop, because that's the one that I spoiled, and we got 3 other topics that we are going to discuss. And what are those going to be? Well, you're just going to have to wait and find out. But WWE, let me give you a little dissection with this roundtable discussion. The question's going to be, do you care to watch it, first off? Secondly, out of what I'm going to tell you, the matches, which one are you most excited about? And thirdly, Ronda Rousey making her debut. Your thoughts about that? Here's the matches. The Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar will face Roman Reigns. Lesnar defending his title. WWE Championship, so many different Universal WWE titles. AJ Styles defending his title against Shinsuke Nakamura. Nailed that. Following with Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle teaming up against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Here comes the money, Shane McMahon, going against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Then the SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair, the champion, will defend her title against Asuka. The Raw Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss, the champion, defend her title against Nia Jax. Is she off that video game, Mortal Kombat? Is that Jax's granddaughter? No? Does anyone get that reference? Intercontinental Championship, The Miz, the champion, will face Seth Rollins and Finn Balor in a triple threat match. The United States Championship, Randy Orton, the champion, defending his title against Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal and Rusev. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Usos, the champions, facing the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers. Raw Tag Team Championship, the Bar, the champions, facing Braun Strowman and to be determined. He has to choose a partner. I like that little suspicion. Cruiserweight Championship, Cedric Alexander, I almost said Cedric the Entertainer. Cedric Alexander faced Mustafa Ali, the kickoff show. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale kickoff show. The only wrestlers announced for this is Dolph Ziggler, Matt Hardy, The Rival, Mojo Rawley, Baron Corbin, Goldust, Ty Dillinger, and Breezango. WrestleMania Women's Battle Royale kickoff show. Superstars from Raw and SmackDown NXT will compete in the event, which one should expect to be held on the kickoff show. And chants thus far include Sasha Banks, Bayley, Becky Lake, Naomi, Natalia, and Riot Squad. What else will happen at WrestleMania 34? The Undertaker faced John Cena? Like that. Maybe he's coming out of retirement. The big name wrestlers without set or predicted match: Elias Samia Joe, Jeff Hardy, and Bray Wyatt. Just reading from the CBS WWE WrestleMania page. Obviously listed from top to bottom, from main event down. Fellas, like I asked you, Dane, do you care? Secondly, which match sticks out to you? Ronda Rousey. Those 3 comments making her debut. What are your answers to those questions?
You know what? I'm excited for Kurt Angle to come back. I was kind of a big fan of Kurt Angle back in the day. If you're asking me, in present time, do I care? Not really anymore. I'm kind of out of my wrestling phase, but yeah, sure. Kurt Angle's match with Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H seems just over the top, ridiculous, and I'm not going to spend $50 on the pay-per-view, but I might tune into YouTube a couple days later once it's posted and check it out.
Ronda Rousey?
I could.
Excited?
No.
See her in the ring?
She used to be a real fighter. The fact that she has to go to the WWE is obviously saying something. So,
booyah, as we would say at the beginning. Jamie?
Yeah, I think Holly Holm did her damage on Ronda, and now she's got to go to wrestling. But, I mean, Like, have you?
Gronkowski's going to be there soon.
Yeah, Gronk could be a million times better than Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Like half the deal with WWE is like the story, right, and the build up, and you have to have like real gripes and grudges, and then like the one thing that Ronda has going for her is she will actually be able to make it look legit, right, with all of her experience. But I've had a problem just like I find it hard to watch wrestling now. Like, come back from being a kid, huge fan, watched all the time.
Right, absolutely.
And it's I mean, like, everybody rips it apart for being fake. Yes, of course it's fake. All right? Deal with it. But you got to at least, like, it's about the act, right? I've heard people describe it as the men's soap opera, which is like not a bad description, right? Like,
Highly accurate.
yeah. Like, dudes want to watch it. You get hyped for it, and like it's a little bit of drama, right? There's real stuff going on, but it's just been so bad. Like, the last couple I've just tuned in to watch or randomly clicked on when things are on, and it's like, I don't know if I was just catching like the new up and comers or the guys that are really struggling, but I feel bad for Kurt Angle a little bit being partnered with Ronda. Like, I mean, like that's a big name pairing, but I feel kind of bad for him because I don't think she's gonna, because you really have to show emotion. Ronda, I don't think that's Ronda's strong suit. Like, she's just pissed all the time, which is good if
Might
it
actually punch Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in the face.
Yeah, I think Steph's gonna like have to go to the hospital for real after. Like, I'm a little concerned for her, but man, I have no idea what's gonna happen. Like Dane, I probably won't watch live, but I'll keep my Twitter open and I'll pay attention.
You know, and I'll say quickly. Am I going to watch it? No. Sorry, Scott Nason. I'm going to watch it after, like you guys. Secondly, I'm excited about the Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H match. Triple H is the game. Pun intended.
There you go.
Like that little name drop for us. But jokes aside, I'm curious to see hear about or see Ronda Rousey's debut. And about Ronda Rousey, I'm going to go disappointment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that topic. Short and sweet from yours truly, who doesn't usually keep it short and sweet. Jamie, I'm going to jump to the next topic, a little bit more of a serious topic. Got about 10 minutes here before we wrap up the show here tonight, so get through this as quickly as I can. Sault Thunderbirds, we're playing in the West Division final. Sorry, this was against Rayside. Rayside's Balfour. They defeated the Sioux Eagles last week.
Yeah.
And we talk about hockey on the Boston Pizza Show, and let me tell you, we're going to talk about this tomorrow night at the Boston Pizza Show. Myself, Justin, and also hopefully going to talk about with Jamie Henderson. And we have good guests next week, tomorrow night. Sorry, with Zach Torquato, but it's going to be myself and Justin Heichel talking about it, as Brad Kuchmillian won't be on the show. So I wanted to get 2 out of these 4 topics we're going to talk about. I wanted to talk about tonight, and we're going to talk about tomorrow. This is the first one we'll bring up. The Sault Thunderbirds. There's a guy, Cameron Barber, who plays for Sault Thunderbirds. There's a video that you must check out online that you can watch or see. I believe you can maybe see it online. If not, there's Joey Miller. I might be able to get a video of it on tape. He got hit off the opening face-off. Okay. The puck got dropped. He plays forward. And this is Jamie, who didn't see the video yet. I'm explaining what this is so listeners know. And Dane, who didn't see the video yet either. Obviously, so I'm just explaining this vocally. It was a winger for the Thunderbirds. Off the draw, the play went back to the defenseman. The Rayside Balfour Canadiens player, without even looking, went straight for him. Baber's head was down. He was looking at where the puck was. He was coming this way, which means I'm pointing. What I'm telling the listeners, know you can't really describe this, but Baber was looking one way, and the player came right in and hit him, knocked him clean out on the ground, or on the ice. Sorry, knocked him out on the ice. Baber has suffered a grade 3 concussion.
Good one.
Very high concussion, which is definitely taking him out for the playoffs. Also might take him out next year. Also might end his hockey career in general. A very good hockey player and known hockey player in the city. Rayside Balfour's Canadian player got suspended 15 games.
15.
Yeah, right now definitely out for the playoffs.
Yeah.
If Rayside goes further, then he might come back in the RBC if they make it that far. But I can't see them getting past the Thunderbirds, to be totally honest with you. Saying that with a little bit of grudge, but what I want to bring up with this topic is that you got to see the video. Just to sum it up, he wasn't looking and he got hit in the head and he suffered a concussion. Dirty hit without expecting it. The puck was nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen. It wasn't in his feet. It wasn't anywhere near him. It was on the other side, and he wasn't aware that this hit was coming. The guy just hit him for no reason. My thing with this topic is, I want to say, we'll get to it quickly here, is, first off, that enough games? I'm saying no. I think that's an easy answer. Secondly, as a player, what would you do if you saw that? Players saw that on that bench on the Thunderbirds. I'm not scrutinizing the Thunderbirds, but I would tell you this. When I played, and I hate bringing up when I played, I don't like using that word hate on the show, but I'm bringing that up because we do bring it up the odd time, especially Thursdays. We joke around, myself and Brad, but I played in an era where it was very tough. Two-way hockey, where when that happened, mitts dropped and nobody cared about anything that was going on except your fallen comrade. The Thunderbirds did not react, and there was no penalty on the play. So, as a player, if you were playing, what would you do? How would you react? And what is your general thought about this? This is coming from you, Jamie. I'm going to go to you first, a football guy, that I know exactly what you would do given your size and toughness. Okay, but based on what you've heard from me, giving you the quick, narrow view of the story, I want to kind of get your thoughts about that and how it should be eliminated from the game and have respect. And also, the team's emotions getting into the grind of those games. Where was that reaction from the Thunderbirds? And I'm sorry to say that. Where was? I'm not putting anybody down. If you guys honestly didn't see it, then I apologize. I'll say right now, if somebody saw that, I apologize. But I know, and people may disagree with me, but if I saw that, I would have jumped over the boards. Would have got a 5-game suspension or 10-game suspension for that myself, just doing that. But seeing that was one of the most dirtiest hits that I have seen. And that's coming from a lot from seeing videos. I saw Scott Stevens on live TV absolutely derail Paul Correa, but that wasn't a dirty hit, in my opinion. I don't think Scott Stevens was.
Rules at the time, it wasn't a dirty hit.
Exactly.
Now you're getting 20 games for that.
Absolutely. But what are your thoughts about what we've just currently that I brought up to you?
Okay, well, I'll address the first thing, right? You said it was right off the opening draw.
Right off.
There's no excuse for not having your eyes on there if you're a player on the bench.
Yeah.
It's the opening face-off. Like, your eyes should be on the ice right now.
Good point.
So, I mean, and maybe it's just the way hockey's going. Like, you don't see junior teams having, like, true gritty third-line or fourth-line guys anymore a whole lot, right? You're trying to go deep across the board, and that's just kind of the way hockey's moving to. The enforcer's not really a position anymore, but still, like, somebody's got to step up and do something. Like, I'll oppose you, to be honest, on the games because it wasn't a penalty at the time, right? It's junior hockey. I don't know if this kid was a repeat offender, if he's been suspended before. 15 games is a lot for a first offense, and I think that's kind of probably pretty fitting considering that basically takes him out of playoffs, like you said, right? And then probably part of the start of next season if he's there.
Yep. If he plays.
If he plays, right? But like you said, right? He went right after him, right off the draw with the intent of making the hit. I think 15 games is pretty much on par for that. That's pretty fair. He didn't have the puck, obviously, and I don't think you would be as aggravated if our guy wasn't injured at all, which is completely fair take, right? And you always get more riled up. You get a little bit more triggered when there's an injury involved. And I'm not by any means condoning what he did. I just think 15 games is pretty much like I agree with the suspension. Obviously, disagree with the play. I got to see this on film now. But from everything you said, it's a dirty hit. There's no question about it being a dirty hit. And bottom line, I disagree with the fact that nobody did anything. Like, how are you on the ice, one of the other four guys, and not just go after him?
Yeah. I know you're in the division finals and people are thinking about emotions, but if I see my guy get hit, I'm going after you. I don't really care if I'm the superstar or the fourth line grinder.
And I don't really know what the fighting rules are in junior hockey anymore, or if it's a game. You can deal with getting a game. And I mean, like, sure, maybe it wasn't one of the guys who was on the ice for the opening draw, right? Because usually you got your top line out there.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me there's a guy who's a fourth liner who plays 6 minutes a game and wasn't willing to hop the boards and go tilly time out there, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely good points. Dane, over to you.
I in fact did see the video of it. Yeah, it was insanely dirty.
Where'd you view it?
Last time we were here.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I thought it was insanely dirty. Intent to injure. I think when it comes to the playoffs, I'm a big guy. If it's especially if it's intent to injure, if you put a guy out for 10 games, you should be suspended 15 games. Literally, the guy went out of his way to try to hurt the guy, put him out for the playoffs. He did. I would suspend the guy for the rest of the playoffs. The puck was nowhere near where the guy was. It was right off the draw, guy coming off. I think he was the winger coming off, just the circle there, just creeped into the middle of it, and the guy just came out of nowhere and smashed him. So, yeah, dirty, like super dirty. There's not, there's no place for that in the game of hockey. You have to show some respect, play hard, play to win, but don't play to hurt somebody. And yeah, I don't really I don't agree with the I don't agree with the hit, obviously, but yeah, I think 15 games is fair, if not should be more than 15, depending on what the severity of the guy who's injured.
What would you have done, Dane? Final.
Well, if I was on the ice and it was one of my boys, I've never been known to be a big fighter, but I'm going in and I'm going to sucker the guy. It's like he suckers my guy. I'm like, I'll punch him right in the side of the head like Todd Bertuzzi. Like I hopefully I don't hurt the guy as much, but when it comes to that, like he blindsided a guy, you deserve to get blindsided. So yeah, it's unfortunate that nobody on the ice did anything. I think because, like you were saying, Jamie, that it was first line guys. None of them are really playoff game. Maybe don't want to miss a game. I don't know how big the next game was after that. Was this game 7 that game or game 1? Okay, well, yeah, no, I would, yeah. If it was game 1, I'd probably be going all out after that, yeah. I think you got to protect your guys. Maybe he's not the most popular guy on the team, but either way, a team's a team, and you gotta be there for your guys.
Like that, fellas, kind of eat up a lot of minutes there in terms of time, but you know what? We're going to talk about more about that on Thursday, just like this topic. And to say quickly, to wrap up that previous topic, I would have jumped in lethal hit. 15 games is not enough. I like the rule of how long one guy's out. If you injure them, that's how long you stay out. I love that rule, especially with the kind of dirty hit that was.
And whoever hit Sidney Crosby a couple years ago would have been screwed.
Absolutely. But moving on from that, and hope we wish the best to the Baber family as well. Definitely, hopefully that he gets a speedy recovery for sure. Don Cherry. Get to this quickly. This is something we're going to talk more about tomorrow. So just a quick, brief parts. We've already went in a lot with the Thunderbirds topic and save that topic for tomorrow, like I said, this Don Cherry one as well, but I kind of want to bring it up here because I want to get both your opinions as well. Don Cherry called the Sault Ste. Marie grounds a bunch of hot dogs. There's not enough mustard in the world to cover these guys. And also said that karma is going to come back and the hockey gods will come back on the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Don Cherry, look, I've met you twice. I'm a big fan. You're one of my role models in terms of being in the world of media and broadcasting. Coach's Corner has been a sound of my life since I can remember. The Rock'em Sock'em video is definitely part of my life as well. And you've been in hockey in Canada for forever. And, as a coach, you were part of the National Hockey League, Coach Mississauga. And I remember the day when I was a child and you were walking Memorial Gardens and I walked up to you and you gave me a hug. You took a picture with me and you're talking hockey with me. You gave me the thumbs up. And the next time that I saw you 2 months later at the Toronto Maple Leafs when they were playing the Air Canada Centre back in 2002, it's the first year the Air Canada Centre was open. You let me in to that room with you and Ron in the Hockey Night in Canada room, and I sat with you in that chair and took a picture with you. And I still remember those memories with you, and you were such a good guy, and I still think about to this day that you were a great guy and a good-known hockey guy. But what you said about the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, what they did, I will say about Don Cherry that they're on national television, these kids. They're on Sportsnet this Sunday, and the Hounds are up 8-0 on Saginaw, and Hayden and these guys at Kapaka chirping that guy that slid past them, and then you got Hayden who did through the legs and celebrate hard. I will say I was taught that after you have a certain goal lead, you don't celebrate. The goals that happened the way they did, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the guy shooting through his legs. Look, William Karlsson did it on a tied game with Vegas against San Jose. So I'm fine with the way the goals were scored. I just don't like how the way the reactions are afterwards. I agree with Don Cherry that they shouldn't have done that, but calling them the names that he did not think before he talked, or he didn't think before he spoke, sorry, and those are unnecessary comments that shouldn't have been said. Okay, and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are the best team in Canada, and they are going to win a championship. There's going to be no hockey gods issues. There's no team that can beat this team in 7-game series. Tell me a team that could. There's not one team I can think of. I think they're better than some AHL teams, for Christ's sake. And I can tell you right now that what he said, it's not, you're entitled to your own opinion, and he could have just left it at, you know what, I didn't like how they celebrated. The way he said it is the issue. Nobody cared that he disagreed. People care in Sault Ste. Marie because of how he said it with the hockey gods and the mustard. He did not have to say that. Okay, we're going to get more into this tomorrow on my end. I even got more to say on top of that afterwards. But Jamie, I'm going to go to you first quickly with your thoughts about it, then over to Dane before we go to our last topic.
Yeah, I mean, and being from Sault Ste. Marie, right, I think we're all a little bit biased here, and it's our hometown team. But, I mean, hot dogging was I think, the term he used specifically. My favorite take I've seen this week was the Sault Ste. Marie faithful have just gone all over the internet, and it's just meme central, and it's you call this hot dog, and it's just different pictures of Don in his most ridiculous outfits, which is killing me, especially like any time around the holidays. St. Patrick's Day get up one year, full green, giant hat. So, like, who's to say you're not being over the top and extravagant when you're doing that on a daily basis? And I mean, again, it's the same thing. That national television argument is the same deal. Everybody watches Don on Coach's Corner. A lot of people tuned in to watch us play in those first two games. And Hayton and Hadashell, you can't blame those guys. Like, they're young guys. You're on national TV. This is your time to shine.
They might not ever get an opportunity like that again on TV.
And those highlights were number 1 and number 3 on Plays of the Week on the American Sportscenter, which is absurd. Like, so the fact that those guys were able to pull those moves off in game, and I mean, being 7-0 and 8-0 at that point, like, sure, it's hard to celebrate, but when you see your boy make a move like that and it's national television, the rink is packed, sellout crowd. Like, I don't hate what happened. Like, if you're Saginaw, stop them. Bottom line, like, Saginaw had the worst matchup in the history of playoff hockey, having to go up against us in the first round. And I mean, I disagree with what Don said. Like, I get, like, not hot dogging and stuff, but, like, they're kids. They're kids. Let them be kids. Who cares? They'll get it out of their system, or they'll bust as NHL players. One or the other. Let them be the big man on campus while they can. And I will say, I think Owen Sound is probably going to give the Hounds more trouble this round than Sarnia or Kitchener will in the next round. To be fair, Owen Sound's hot. They're playing really well. They played us really well. But, yeah.
Good points. Dane?
Yeah, like, you know, these guys are on national TV. They're young. They're under 20. I don't agree with the celebrations. I think they're a little overzealous, but to call the Greyhounds out on national TV, I think's a little much, especially coming from Don Cherry. God forbid if it was the London Knights, we'd only be praising them on a coach's corner there. So I think there's a bit of a double standard. Finally a good northern team is the top dog in Ontario, Canada, if you want to put it that way. They are. So I don't like his comments. I think it was you're on national TV, you got 2 really, really nice goals that you don't see too often. Yeah, the celebration was a little bit much, but the hockey gods aren't gonna it's not gonna hurt the Greyhounds run to the Memorial Cup.
Good points for sure, fellas. Okay, a couple more minutes, definitely going over the time here. We're gonna go to the super team debates. This is Jamie Antonello's topic. Super team debate. What is a super team? Look at the NBA, first off, with the Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, which it all started. Look at Boston Celtics before them. Sure, the Lakers before them. Cleveland Cavaliers, maybe, with Kyrie and LeBron. Point is, the big team that started all this was Miami Heat with Bosh, Wade, and LeBron. Now, in terms of football, you got teams that are trying to do the same. Hockey, you can't. It's very difficult to do that. Look at the Hawks dynasty, the LA and Boston, good teams, but they built those teams through the draft. Rightfully so. They had players under contracts. They didn't take other players from other teams and convince them to sign for less. So doing that, and there's a luxury tax. Look at baseball. Don't want to talk super team debate. Baseball is actually probably just as bad as the NBA, almost. There's nothing as big as what the NBA is currently. So I'm just going to say flat out right now. Okay? Super team debate. Jamie? You're going to lead off what the questions are going to be, first off. So I'll let you ask what the questions, because this is your topic. The super team debate is something that is big in the world of sports that people have much different kind of perspectives on. I've stated my previous disagreements towards it, so I've already kind of spoiled what my thoughts are, but I'm not going to jump into my thoughts. I'm going to wait what your questions are. I want you to ask the questions. Dane will start, I'll go second, and then you can conclude the topic.
Yeah, I mean, really it just sparked from everything that the Rams have done in this offseason, trying to build themselves into a super team. And the last team I can remember is the Philadelphia Eagles, really at the end of Andy Reid's tenure, when you still had McNabb, you had Mike Vick, and you had Vince Young at quarterback. A slew of guys all over the place, LaShawn McCoy at running back, just Deshaun Jackson at wide receiver, and they were stacked on defense as well. Bottom line, I consider, when you're talking about super team, you brought up bringing guys up to the draft. That's just like being a good GM, in my opinion. I mean, not that bringing in high-priced free agents isn't, but really, you don't really start to talk about super team unless you're bringing guys in, right? I'm talking landing marquee free agents, and bottom line is my question is, which of the sports do you think it actually works in?
Oh, okay.
Does it work in football? Does it work in baseball? Does it work in hockey? Does it work in basketball? I think basketball has kind of answered itself, and but I'm curious your guys' takes on each of the 4 leagues.
Wow, actually took a twist there. I thought he was going to get our opinion more or less on that. That's why I like this round table. Random topics you guys bring up and you ask the questions. And we honestly don't know what the questions are going to be. We just have the topics. We don't discuss this round table topics, and the guy who brings up the topics asks the question. Dane, in terms of Jamie's topic, what's your answer?
So what you're asking is like a plethora of good players at the same position, and like, I think the sport that it works the best in is hockey when it comes to goaltending. I think goaltending, they're hot and cold. I think if you have a viable backup that, if your starting goalie gets, lit up a couple games and you can come in and, play a couple games, get back on the winning board there, and might be able to ease your actual starting goalie back in. I think quarterbacking, especially in the NFL, I think just makes an awkward situation. Like, you're either the guy or you're not kind of thing. Baseball, you can't really do a baseball. You got pitchers that are in and out of the lineup. You got 5 different starters. But I think if you want to compare it to anything, I think, like goalies in hockey would be where I would go with that. And I think that works the best. You've seen a couple teams in the day that have had, really 2 really good goaltenders. The Bruins, for instance, when Timmy T and Ross were there. When you had Carey Price and Halak there. Both went on really big playoff runs. I think Boston won the Stanley Cup that year when Ross got pulled. I think, if you want to look at any sport that kind of works in that situation, it would be hockey.
Good points, and I'll jump into that. I'm going to say, obviously, where it works is obviously basketball, but I'm not going to use that as my point. Where it doesn't work is, and I'm kind of echoing Dane here, he kind of took my thoughts right out of my head there. Baseball, it doesn't, because baseball is such a sport that you can win games without hitting the long ball all the time. Look at the Blue Jays for the last couple of years being long ball threats all the time. They even couldn't get past the Kansas City Royals, or they couldn't get past the Cleveland Indians. It came down to pitching. Pitching's a big part of health in baseball. It's a thing that's inconsistent, and you don't know what's going to happen. Tommy John surgery, injuries, balls in the chest, balls in the head, God forbid. Look at Josh Donaldson's arm just all of a sudden dead. There's a lot of things in baseball that factors on like super teams works. But you know what? The only thing that works for baseball when you stack a team is home runs. Look at your Carlos Stanton and Sanchez and Judge. They have a team that's going to probably hit so many home runs. It's going to be absolutely astronomical, the amount of numbers. But, they didn't sweep the Blue Jays the first games, did they? They went 2-2 in the series. So, in hockey is the most where it works. 100%. I feel football is, I want to give football a notable second. This is not including basketball, okay? I've excluded basketball, all right? Because basketball's too obvious. It's already proved its point. So I'm going NHL and with football being my 2. I can't decide between the 2 of them, because I feel in football, if you have a great quarterback with 2 good receivers, 1 star, and you have a stacked defensive with a defensive lineman, and I've always been a Brian Dawkins fan. I think if you have a strong safety, I've always been a Troy Polamalu fan. I've always respected that position of free safety and strong safety. I feel with those, you have the right guys at those very important positions. They make other players around them better. And I feel football, they've watched with the money, you can't spend as much and have enough room. I like how they've managed that in football. But I feel with those types of offenses you can build in the defenses, that's where super team works. Hockey is slightly ahead because imagine if you had look at those days where they didn't have payroll. Detroit Red Wings having Brett Hall, Luke Robitaille, Stevie Yzerman, Sergei Fedorov, Brendan Shanahan, Nick Lindstrom, Brian Rafalski, and I think they had Dom Hasek in net at that time. You have a team like that. It's not just the goaltending. I've got to disagree with Dane just a tad, where it's not just the goaltending. Carey Price is in Montreal, and Montreal's in last place. One of the last place team. Yes, Price has been hurt, but even with Price all year, I don't think Montreal would have made the playoffs. If you have a team that's built the way this is in hockey with having all those studs like Detroit had, they've proved that hurts, that you can win that way. I love it now, though, because the cap in place, you can't build teams like that. Chicago, look at the guys when they had Bufflin, they had Ladd, they had Taves, they had Kane, they had all those Hossa. Yes, they did have Hossa. They had all those guys. They won because they were studs. They had a stacked team. Was it a super team? To answer your question, yes, it was. But I think more so with this question, I want to lean towards signing free agencies, or going through free agents, and that's what you're leaning towards. Free agents, does it building teamwork? No, the Eagles prove that doesn't work. Basketball, it does work. Hockey, it would work if it was still a thing. And I think in baseball, it definitely does not work. But football and hockey manages now. You got room, you got cap. Football, you have a lot more cap and money to spend, obviously, than hockey. But I just feel there's no other sport that can beat it. If you can build a super team in hockey, you're going to win, period. Football is close second, but we know what my ultimate first is because it's still happening right now in the NBA, and it's the reason why I called Kevin Durant a coward, and it's the reason why that the Golden State has won the national championship the NBA championship in the last 3 years.
All right, nice takes, boys. Yeah, I mean, basketball hands down, and I think I would agree with you, Dave, there, and Dane, same thing, like that hockey's the easiest one. And really it just comes down to how often are your best players on the field, on the court, on the ice. Basketball, obviously, your starting five are going to play the majority of your minutes. So they're on the court most of the time. So you can afford to dump a lot of money into 2 or 3 guys and kind of have a couple of auxiliary starters and not have much of a bench, and you're a super team at that point, right? And that's literally what Golden State does. They don't have much of a bench. Their starting five is ridiculously good, but beyond that, they're done. Hockey's a little bit harder, but really, you cut down to the playoffs, you get your top line playing 18, 19 minutes, your top defenseman playing 30-plus, right? And your goalie's in net the whole game, right? So Dane's take on the goalie being super important, that's a massive deal, right? Most recently, look at Pittsburgh. They had Fleury and Murray, right? 2 cups, right? And they were able to let Fleury go and still be very confident in Matt Murray. But football is tough, right? You can't play both sides. The last guy who's really consistently played both sides was Deion Sanders when he was in Dallas, and that was in 1994. So it's been a while, or 95, sorry. It's been a while. But it's my issue with hockey is nobody does that. Nobody goes and tries to land guys anymore. It doesn't happen. Like, I can't even remember the last signing that happened. I can't. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about John Tavares and Steven Stamkos having a marquee trade for the last bunch of years, right? But I can't remember the last time it happened. And that's why my brain immediately leans to football, because we get massive free agent moves every single year. And the Rams, 100%, right? And part of that is they have the biggest roster out of the 4 sports, bar none. And baseball, I find it hard to throw baseball in there just because there's no cap, right?
There's luxury tax.
There's luxury tax, but I mean, if your owner's willing to pay, like the Yankees, right? They're paying like the Marlins are still paying Stanton $60 million of his $315. The Yanks got the rest of it, and I mean, like, so far it's kind of paid off for them. First at bat, jack, and then he goes in the 8th, has like 3 RBIs and 2 jacks already.
The biggest exit velocity at the Rogers Center history.
Yeah, which is like, I love the crazy sabermetric stats now that they're starting to throw around. But I'll for the most part agree with you guys. I don't think there's any argument. Basketball is number 1, and then I'm going to agree. Hockey number 2. I just wish somebody would make a splash at free agency 1 year. Like, just something. Just do something big.
Like that. Little super team discussion, fellas. Kind of talk about that with Kevin Durant being a coward. But the guy has an NBA championship ring that he led the way.
He's 10-ply though. If you ever see him, like he's not getting into a fight.
No, absolutely not. He'd 10-ply me into the ground anyways. Absolutely. But, fellas, Danner, your last Sportscenter show. A little bit more open worlds with this of this spring, and you're not going to be back, and you're not back until September, so you're not basically back until the fall.
I'll be back in 2018. So a quick little break.
4 months. 4 months.
Protecting the trees, you know?
You got to do that. So, fellas, I wanted to say thank you for coming on by tonight. Danner.
Thank you very much for having me, Dave. As always.
As always?
As always.
As always. Jamie, thanks for coming on by. Next week?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. I like that. Wednesday next week. And they're right in front of me. Tiana, right in front of me. Tiana, the beautiful Tiana Belair. Her boyfriend, Justin Heichel, whom is absent tonight, but will be on the show tomorrow night. Thursday at Boston Pizza. Thursday night, we've been here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar for the second year in a row, on their famous wing night from 4 until midnight. The best wings and fries in town. Molson products, pizza, food, great service. And the best service from Tiana, from Alicia, from Krista, from newly hired Jen Grosjean. They're right under the bus, the new hires. The beautiful waitresses here. Beautiful.
Easy, bud.
Beautiful. That's the Sports Center. We got to thank additional sponsors. You got Boston Pizza. You got North Shore Sports and Auto. You got Discover the Canvas, The Salon, Superior Pro Shop, Wicked Sister, and Pingator Cleaners and Northern Critters in Need, and also Big Brother, Big Sister, Sault Ste. Marie as well. And, like I said, go to thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Follow the show. Give your comments. And make sure you tune into that trivia question on Thursdays. Send your answer into thegamesportshowssm@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Scott Nason's YouTube channel. And you can follow us on Instagram. The Game Sports Show on Instagram. The page is growing. Going to be sending out that page, and going to be sending a lot of follows out there, so make sure you follow back for your chance to win prizes as well, and also be caught up to date who our special guests are. We'll be back tomorrow night at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, myself, Justin Heichel, along with special guests Zach Turquato, and also hopefully Jamie Henderson as well, and Brad Cochimilio will not be there, and obviously Dane Hanchrow will not be there tomorrow, so it'll be just myself and Justin. Come on by. Boston Pizza will be there at 9 p.m. sharp. There for their after 9 o'clock daily specials, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that as well. So on behalf of Jamie Antonello, on behalf of Dane Hanchrow, on behalf of Scott Nason, the great board operator, and to Tiana Blair and Sportscenter Bar and Grill, we appreciate you, the listeners. Tune in tonight. Make sure you comment. Give us some of your feedback. Don't hesitate to reach out to us and talk to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or through thegamesportshow.podbean.com. And until tomorrow night, you all out there have a safe and fun night.